Hello and welcome. Today we are in the Tier 8 American submarine, the Salmon. Okay, I know it's actually salmon, but look, the name says S-A-L-M-O-N. It's not salmon, it's salmon. It has an L in it. English is weird, almost as weird as Dutch. Anyway, I think the Salmon is the better Tier 8 submarine. I do want to note that this is in the previous patch though, so it's still possible to torpedo lance a destroyer, for example. Or at least it's easier to do or it was in the previous patch than it is now. Anyway, we're on the map Mountain Range, and I started out heading straight towards the A-cap, and this is one of the reasons why I think the Salmon is better than the... I don't actually remember what the Tier 8 German one is. But she's better because she's faster. On the surface she goes, I think, with the flag 32 knots, which is pretty amazing. At least compared to the Tier 6 ones. Because this means that you can actually do things like assist capping and reposition and, attack the enemy in unexpected ways. Here, for example, that Anchorage has decided to park himself in the middle of the ocean, with submarines around. I don't know what he expects though, because if he fires while in that smokescreen and I approach within, I think it's like 10 kilometers or is it 8 kilometers, and she fires her guns, she's gonna get spotted. So it's not really a great plan, I think, especially not this early into the match. Not to mention she actually got spotted, so she got pinged and torpedoed, and well, the pings, they lock on, so yeah, just got hit by 2 torps. Easy game. Next up, I'm gonna try to torp that Bismarck. She's turning in, so I guess I'll have to aim the pings soon. Oh, the Anchorage pings pulled the torpedoes in the wrong direction. You know what? This is actually interesting. Maybe it's possible to curve torpedoes around the corner like this. If you target them at one target first and then another target elsewhere, that would actually be quite something to pull off. Like right now, I'm not launching them at the Bismarck because I want the torpedoes to curve a little bit. Ideally, I'd like to even curve them more. It would be cool if I could somehow cancel the ping, but unfortunately that's not possible. So the reason I would have wanted to cancel it is so that I can ping again. Because when you have a ping on a target, the torpedoes will start homing in all the time, right? But if you don't have a ping, then the torpedoes will go straight until you ping something, so you can curve around objects that way better and try to hit the broadside of a target rather even if they're head on. But I suppose it is what it is, and if you can hit the bow, then the chance of flooding is higher anyway, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. Match is going well though. I mean, our Massachusetts took out the Anchorage, so we don't have to worry about that. This Bismarck is in a lot of trouble because I think she has used her damage control party, so if we can set another flooding, she is gonna suffer quite a lot. Now, with the Salmon, or with the American submarines in general, you have to understand that they have something called loaders. Effectively, they have 2 sets of torpedoes at the front and 2 sets at the back. But they only have 2 loaders at the front and 2 loaders at the back, which means that only 1 set of torps or 2 torpedo tubes will be loading at the same time. Whereas the German ones have enough loaders so that multiple torpedo tubes will be loading at the same time. But the American torpedoes deal more damage for some reason, although the damage is kind of comparable, but still a little bit more, and the torpedoes have more range, which is why I really like the American ones more. So the submarine is faster, and the torpedoes are better. Although, I suppose you can't, dump out as many torps as easily while sitting, head-on to the Bismarck, for example. You kind of have to keep turning around because, half your torpedo tubes are at the back and half are at the front. But that Bismarck decided to just reverse in place, so she basically just became food for us. And this is something actually I like about submarines. Because what that Bismarck should have done is turned around and started running away. It's a lot more difficult to torpedo something that's running away. Sure, I understand that, you know, the tracking torpedoes will track you even if you're running away, but you gotta understand that the torpedoes still have limited range. 12.5 kilometers might seem like a lot, but when torpedoes curve, they eat up a lot more distance than what you would normally expect. Wait, oh god, those are actually... Wow, those torpedoes look really close. So there has to be a submarine somewhere over here. Oh, maybe we can hit the Mecca with the torps. I think it'll be too late by the time the ping... Okay, I missed anyway. So I guess the fight will be... No, it will be with the Mecca. The enemy Salmon is going the other way, and... The Mecca... No, she's actually turning away. I thought she was turning in. No, that was just a mistake on my end. I'm gonna try to hunt down the Salmon so that she can't cause trouble for my team. If we can avoid that, I think this game is in the bag. We're both using hydrophones, so we know where each other are. Come on, island. Please stop being in the way, even though you're underwater. You know, actually, I have a question. Can deep-water torpedoes hit submarines? Okay, she's launching torps. I'm gonna damage-con and go further up, so the torpedoes will just go under me. She has used damage control party for my ping as well. I think that'll also avoid it. Oh no, no! Actually, her ping did not avoid the torps, and oh, she's already dead. Wow. Well, that's what you get for messing with the wrong ship or boat. This kid is turning away. So there's absolutely no need to try to torpedo lance them. Basically, it means surfacing right next to a ship and then torping them at close range. It's extremely, or was extremely dangerous to destroyers, and this was nerfed by increasing the time it takes for torpedoes to arm. Because right now, as you can see, the torpedoes are basically immediately armed as they leave the submarine. This was increased to 2 seconds instead. Unless that kid has damage control party, she's gonna eat the torps, or at least one of them. Because it is possible to dodge these torpedoes. As you just saw, I think. Nope, never mind. No, she didn't dodge. But it is possible to dodge them. And I mean, I even showed that clip with the Yamagi where I just dodged submarine torps like 3 times or something. But hey, 110k damage. Sank 2 ships. 16 torpedoes, even assisted in a base capture. I really like the Salmon, way better than the German one. And the main thing is the speed and the more range of the torps. The speed of the torpedoes doesn't matter as much to me. I just like the range and the speed. The speed of the boat and the range of the torps. I really think German torpedoes should have more range. Because then, you know, it would be more of a choice in my opinion. Because right now I think the only choice for submarines at tier 8 is the Salmon. Anyway, commander skills, Liquidator, Torpedo Crew Training, then Sonar Man, because it doesn't matter what how long a single ping lasts, what matters is how long 2 last. Torpedo Aiming Master, then Adrenaline Rush, and then Watchful, but I think you can drop Watchful. The other thing that I might not always take is Enlarged Propeller Shaft. You could also consider Improved Battery Efficiency. This only kicks in when you're down to 25% of your maximum dive capacity, and it only works when you're detected, but that's also when you would want that the most. With the new changes though, I'm not sure if I'd take that. I think Propeller Shaft might be better. Last Stand isn't something you need, and Priority Target I don't think is something you need either, at least not at this point. Consumables Specialist would actually be something to consider, and mostly because it improves your damage control party cooldown, because that's the main thing you will need when fighting other submarines. Upgrades wise, Submarine Steering Gears, because the steering gears are pretty slow on these. In fact, they're so slow that I've considered Submarine Steering Gears in this slot as well, so both at the same time. So far though, I've been going Propulsion and it's been alright, but later at tier 10 I switched to Submarine Gearing. Then in this slot I use Dive Capacity, but honestly I think Sonar Modification might be better. Because dive capacity modification doesn't do all that much for you. And the sonar thing can make hitting pings way easier. Another thing to consider is torpedo tubes, but your torps are already fast enough. Second slot, engine room protection, but honestly you could also go damage control. I haven't found either to be much of a use. And then in the first slot, main arms modification 1, in case your torp tubes get knocked out. It's the most important thing. I don't think I've ever had my sonar knocked out in some way, but maybe it's possible, I don't know. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.